with a dollar in my hand and an aching in my heart and my pockets full of sand. I'm a long way from home and I miss my loved ones so. In the early morning rain with no place to go, out on runway number 9, big 707. Where the pavement never grows, well, the liquor tasted good, and the women all were fast. There she goes, my friend, she's a-rolling down at last. Hear the mighty engine roar, hear the mighty engine roar. See the silver wing on high, see the silver wing on high. She's away and westward bound, far above the clouds she'll fly, where the morning rain don't fall and the sun always shines. She'll be flying
Good afternoon, everyone. If I can ask everybody to either turn their cell phones off or to place them on vibrate in order to preserve the dignity of the services today. You'll be good. You won't be texting me now. Sue's husband and I have been very much in tune with texting together, and it's pretty funny because I'm like, wow, he's a good texter. Gonna have to give my mom some lessons. My name is Alexis Horvath, and I am the funeral director here at the funeral home. The family had asked if I would say a few words. There will be a time and opportunity for people to come up to speak. We are having a virtual funeral, so if you would like to come up, there is a little mic here. That's what we have to be a little bit worried about, to make sure you're near that in order for whomever's watching can actually hear what's being said. Today we gather to remember and celebrate a life that touched so many in quiet, meaningful ways. We honor Sue today, a wife, mother, grandmother, sister, and aunt and friend. She was a person who touched many lives in her 85 years with her kindness, resilience, and a deep care for the people around her. She was someone who made others feel seen and valued. Whether through a warm smile, a listening ear, or a simple act of generosity, she had a way of bringing comfort and light into every moment. Her presence was steady, reassuring, the kind of presence that made things feel a little more manageable, a little more helpful. She carried strength in a way that did not need to be loud. Through life's challenges, she endured with grace, showing us what it meant to keep going when things were difficult. And in the good times, she knew how to laugh, how to enjoy the moment, and how to share that joy with others. To those who knew her best, Sue was more than the role she held. She was a source of love, a confidant, a steady hand, and a compassionate heart. The memories she leaves behind are not just moments in time, but lasting impressions, lessons in kindness, patience, and what it means to truly care for one another. Though we feel the weight of her absence today, we also carry forward the impact of her life. In the way we show up for each other, in the way we choose kindness, and in the way we remember her, Sue remains with us forever. Though words can never fully carry the weight of grief, we share them here to hold on to memory, meaning, and connection. This is a moment to face the sorrow of losing someone so close and to celebrate her life, her energy, and the presence she brought into our world. Sue leaves behind a legacy of kindness, loyalty, and care. Though she will be deeply missed, the love she gave and the memories we share will always be with us. I'd like to invite Bob to come up to speak. He wanted to be first.
Okay. It was 1968. I just lost my job as an accountant in the corporate world. I went to the unemployment office in Newark. They said the Bureau of Children's Services in Newton was hiring caseworkers. Having lived most of my life in Brooklyn, I asked, "Where's Newton? What's a caseworker?" It sounded interesting living in the country, so I decided to give it a try. Sue Gleason had just graduated from Rutgers after putting herself through college at night while working as a secretary. She was ready to start a new career as a college graduate and was hired by the Bureau of Children's Services as a caseworker, helping families in need. She started work there about a month after I started. I was attracted to her right away. She was so nice, so easy to talk to, bright, energetic, so pretty, with a beautiful smile. The caseworkers were mostly young and single. We hung out together after work, Sue and I were from different worlds. Sue from a big Irish Catholic family with 7 kids, me, Jewish, 1 brother living in a small apartment in Brooklyn. But we became friends, then partners, and we married in 1972. In 1973, we bought this very, very old farmhouse in Wantage with 6 acres of land for the huge sum of $35,000. It needed a little work. Me, never even mowed a lawn before. But with Sue's energy and willingness to try new things, we fixed up the old house. We had a dog, chickens, too many cats, a huge garden, a wood stove, and I became good at chasing the cows from across the road off our property. David was born in 1978. We became a family, another new exciting adventure. I think back on those times with good feelings. Sue worked for different social service agencies until she became the plant lady, driving around in her van, using her creativity to take care of plants in local offices, restaurants, businesses, and homes. Of course, it meant lugging around 50-pound bags of potting soil, moving heavy potting plants, getting on ladders with watering cans. So at some point, she decided to become a social worker again, working at Project Self-Sufficiency, again, helping those in need. We both retired in 2001. There was travel to exotic places, China, South Africa, Iceland, France, Italy, Alaska, often with our dear friends Brian and Roz. Sue worked in her gardens, out in the yard until it got dark, planting, weeding, watering. It was all good until it wasn't. She showed signs of forgetfulness, but we adapted. Little by little, everything became harder for her. It was stressful for her, stressful for me, but we had help. David and Danielle were always there for us. Sebastian and Aiden made us smile. Our friends visited, often bringing treats or flowers, cookies, pitching in when I needed help. Her siblings all over the country showed their love in so many ways. If Sue was up to it, I would make an unplanned FaceTime call so she could see their faces. I'm deeply grateful for all the love so many of you shared. Alzheimer's is a cruel disease. It takes a person away slowly, quietly. It changed our life. But until the very end, it didn't take everything. Maybe not as often. She showed her sweet smile. We all felt good. These last few weeks, I'm walking around hearing, "When Irish eyes are smiling," and it just makes me smile, just to see that picture too. Being her caregiver was the hardest thing I ever did, also the most meaningful. I'm grateful for the 55 years we were together. Thank you all for coming.
That was beautiful, Ma. Thank you. That was great. And in the spirit of her favorite song, we're going to perform it, David, her son, and I. And we're going to attempt to perform it. Okay.
We've never played together before.
So, after I'm going to sing one verse and then 2 chorus of this song, and everybody knows the chorus, so everybody needs to sing along when I hit the chorus, okay? There's a tear in your eye, and I'm wondering why, for it never should be there at all. With such power in your smile, sure a stone you'd beguile, so there never a teardrop should fall. When Irish eyes are smiling, sure 'tis like in spring, in the lilt of Irish laughter, you can hear the angels sing. When Irish hearts are happy, sure the world is bright and gay. But when Irish eyes are smiling, sure it steals your heart away. When Irish eyes are smiling, sure 'tis like the morning spring, in the lilt of Irish laughter, you can hear the angels sing. When Irish hearts are happy, all the world seems bright and gay. But when Irish eyes are smiling, sure it steals your heart away.
So, been reflecting lately on who my mom was and the many ways that she's influenced my life over the years. Been kind of doing this for a while now because, as she's been dealing with Alzheimer's, she's kind of been fading away, and, it's been a long, slow goodbye, which I don't know if that makes it easier or harder. But there's been a lot of time to think about, what she's meant and the things that she's left me with. I don't want to remember the things as much the last few months or the last year. That wasn't really her. It's nice to see, the pictures and hear people's stories about, who she was before Alzheimer's started to affect her. I wish our kids had gotten to know her more. That person. We didn't have kids until late. Kind of matured late. Didn't buy a house till I was 40, and we were older by the time she had grandkids. So they weren't able to get to know her as well as we all knew her. But I wish, they were able to hear her laugh and joke around and could have experienced a Thanksgiving in all its glory. I think they would have loved that with all kids running around, and or to be there for, Christmas or Easter, and, she loved the holidays. I think I got an Easter basket until I was 35. So it would have been good, they could have experienced some of that. But obviously, the one big thing and influence on my life is she was the plant lady. She had a love of plants and of animals. And thankfully, I was able to inherit at least some of her green thumb. I keep killing houseplants. I can't do that. She could take care of houseplants. The house is full of plants. But I remember going around with her when she was the plant lady, taking care. I would play with Matchbox cars on the floor of the Walpack Inn or the St. Moritz or like the car dealership, or she even took care of the plants in Burger King for a while. Burger King had live plants. So that was really nice. I didn't inherit her love of animals as much as she had. It's possible it skipped a generation. Our son Aiden really wants a cow. Sebastian might be okay with a cat, but I think they would have loved the house growing up too, as we had. There was cats and dogs and chickens and rabbits and ducks and whatever birds. there was birds, hermit crabs. We had a hermit crab for a while. I think there was some fish. It's full of life, and she wanted care for all of that. I grew up, helping her in the many outdoor gardens. Beautiful, people stop by and always admiring them. And then I think, she appreciated whenever I showed an interest in plants, I think. When I was in college, I think, and it was, I don't know, must have been a summer break. A friend and I tried our luck at growing some marijuana plants. We weren't that good at it, but I had them in the woods, like in pots for a while, and then they were away. I think Dave Lawler was watching the house, and I left him explicit instructions. We're going to leave the plants out to get some sunshine, and then but please put them like back in the woods when I, before my parents come home. And he, that didn't happen. So the plants were out, and they came home, and I think they were probably still sitting on the deck. And she told me, even though your dad, we had to destroy the plant and put it in the compost, but it was a really beautiful plant, and I appreciated that, she she appreciated that I was showing some interest there. Then we gave that up and switched to growing vegetables. When Danielle and I met in Philadelphia, and then we came back up here to start our own farm, and then we had lots of plants to take care of, and parents came out we were at Fair Acres, and Richard and Deborah had us there for many years, and she always wanted to help us take care of the plants there. She had, I think, probably turned about 70 at that time, but she was always coming out to help and helping us weed and plant. And she said, she felt bad that we were out there doing it all alone. And I'm like, we chose to do this. It's okay. But she would come out and I think we made them plant onions, and one of our first years there, one of the more tedious jobs. But she always wanted to help us, and when she didn't help, she started bringing us dinners at the farm, on Friday nights when we were harvesting late, and they would work the farmers market for us so that we could go away. Then fast forward a few years, we were lucky enough to buy the land across the street from the house that I grew up in. Unfortunately, at this time, her mind was starting to go a bit, and she wasn't able to come down as much and help us. But she still came down to see what we were doing and walk around, and they'd still bring friends over to see the farm. And it was always nice to see her, want to show her friends what we were doing on the farm, and I was always, proud of that. But even when she couldn't help, she could come and get plants. We started growing more seedlings, so it was nice she could come down and shop with us. She always was buying plants everywhere at the local places, and it was nice that we could, provide that. It was actually her plant buying habit that led us to Fair Acres. She was a customer of Richard's up there, and we were home, I think, on Thanksgiving break, and somebody suggested that we were looking for land. We were looking all over in New York and Vermont and all over the Northeast, and somebody suggested, let's go talk to Richard, and we did. And after a handshake, we wound up farming there for 13 years. And so now with our growing, it's coming full circle, and we're growing more flowers. We might be a flower farm in a few years. But so she wasn't just a great gardener; she was a lover of music. She didn't play an instrument, but had great taste in music. I remember playing, Bruce Springsteen and Bob Dylan and Paul Simon and all great folk songs. Had a great music collection, and took me to first concerts. I remember going to the Beach Boys at the Walpack Inn and going to see Pete Seeger and Arlo Guthrie, I think, at Waterloo Village. She loved the music. She liked to dance. She was always out on the dance floor at weddings, and we went at her dancing, I think, when we started a band, not with a couple people here, and a few years ago, and got her dancing at a party at Corey and Mike's to the music we were playing, and that was really nice. She was a compassionate person. always wanting to help others, thinking of others, dedicated her career to that. Actually, we wound up moving sort of next to a neighbor who she knew from social work. I guess she was a client, and I had told her that, my mom had passed away, and she said, shared with me, it was this morning, that, my mom was a guiding light when she was a single mom, and it was, she just always cherished what she was able to do for her, and that was, really nice to hear. Great smile, great sense of humor. She's always loved, see my friends come over and see you guys. Always, happy to have people over to the house. She was kind, caring, empathetic, funny, sarcastic, gardener. I'll miss her, and I want to thank her for giving me the gift of the love of the natural world, and inspiring a career in growing plants too. So, thank you.
Sally? Hence the shirt. Suzanne. She lived what she believed. We all loved her because she did. We describe her as sweet, kind, really nice person. But I want to talk to her about the Iron Woman, a different side, another side. And I'm going to use a story that comes from Project Self-Sufficiency and Domestic Abuse Services, two agencies that often work together on all kinds of projects, usually involve trying to make money to survive. Sue suggested we get these two. Now, Sue did a lot of back stuff, and then she'd give you the job. Like, you call up the agencies, I got an idea. So I called up the agencies, and we got together, I think it was at Votech. There were a lot of people there. We held a lot of meetings. It was good, because both agencies hadn't always had a pleasant project to work on. Not that they were opposite, but they needed this kind of a project, and they both needed money. So we developed a plan for a big event at Sussex County Community College. The entire college, because of Sue, because she went around and talked to all these people behind our backs, she developed, yeah, right? And got volunteers. And she was always working behind the scenes. So we came up with an idea of Sue's, and that's the idea I want to talk about for the rest of my time. She had this idea to do a teddy bear picnic after the book, The Teddy Bear's Picnic, hence the book, which I couldn't get for today. The library didn't have a copy. I couldn't get Amazon to deliver it in time. So where did she get all these ideas? So first thing, we hold a meeting. Both agencies are there. She already has 50 teddy bears. She took over the main room. I wish I had a picture of this room at Sussex County Community College. It's a big room, as big as this. And it was her room. She decorated this room. You did not need to help. It was really cool. She took these teddy bears and she put them everywhere. They were all around the room. You'd never seen this many teddy bears. And this was the song. If you go down to the woods today, you'd better go in disguise, for every bear that ever was will gather there for certain, because today's the day for the teddy bear's picnic. Sue lived what she believed, with family, with gardens, with those that she loved, and she loved us all. Her favorite plant, her color is blue, Sue Blue, and sunflowers too. Thank you.
And Bob's going to come back up.
Oh, yes.
He's reading something from Sue's brother, Tony.
Yeah, Sue was the oldest of 7 children, but they're all over the place. And unfortunately, the 2 brothers that were going to come today, something happened, and Tony wasn't able to be here. But Tony asked me to read something. Okay. I was very lucky to be one of Sue's 4 brothers. And I do recall once, after I had served her a few glasses of Simi, her favorite wine, that she said, "I might have been one of the better-looking brothers." Sue almost always laughed at my jokes. On a more serious note, I'd like to share a few thoughts of what Sue loved and her passion that she brought to all of us. Sue loved nature. Just being outside was a thrill, and Sue loved everything that grew, especially plants, so much that she followed her passion and became the plant lady. She was so good with flowers and plants, indeed. She truly had a green thumb, actually 2 of them. And how fitting that her son David has become a fantastic organic garden farmer. Those green thumbs didn't fall far from the tree. Sue loved helping others, which only naturally led to a career with her loving husband Bob in social work. Talk about following your passions. What a great example for us all. Both Bob and Sue have hearts of gold, and it shows. Sue's love of family was on full display with the most memorable ever Thanksgiving dinners that Sue and Bob would orchestrate. So much delicious food and many fun and eclectic people. I'll never forget Uncle Phil. Wow, he could tell a story. Finally, on a lighter note, I knew I had a very cool sister when I was a 12-year-old boy. Sue drove home with a brand new car, not just any car, but a Camaro, a white convertible top. A convertible, it was the first model year of the Camaro, and there it was, sitting in my driveway. Wow, the modern-day equivalent would be for a 12-year-old boy waking up to finding a SpaceX rocket in the driveway. Wow, my sister had a flair for style and fashion. Sue also could be frugal, as she kept that Camaro for many, many years. Not sure it ever had an oil change, but it was used for everything including hauling hay. One day I happened to hop in the back seat of this ancient Camaro, and I could not help but notice all the plants that had sprouted from the hay in the back seat. I thought to myself, of course, Sue Green Thumbs would work their magic even in the back seat of a Camaro. Love you, Sue. We all miss you. Tony.
Roberta?
Sue is my cousin through marriage, through Bob, but in my heart, Sue is my blood cousin. And I'm going to just read a poem that I did not write and plagiarized, written by Joshua Liebman. Death is not the enemy. I often feel that death is not the enemy of life, but its friend. For it is the knowledge that our years are limited which makes them so precious. It is the truth that time is but lent to us which makes us, at our best, look upon our years as a trust handed into our temporary keeping. We are like children privileged to spend a day in a great park, a park filled with many gardens and playgrounds, and azure-tinted lakes and boats sailing upon tranquil waves. True, the day allotted to each of us is not the same in length, in light, in beauty. Some children of earth are privileged to spend a long and sunlight day in the garden of the earth. For others, the day is shorter, cloudier, and dusk descends more quickly as in a winter's tale. But whether our life is a long summery day or a shorter winter afternoon, we know that inevitably there are storms and squalls which overcast even the bluest heaven, and there are sunlight rays which pierce the darkest autumn sky. The day we are privileged to spend in the great park of life is not the same for all human beings, but there is enough beauty and joy and gaiety in the hours if we but treasure them. Then for each of us the moment comes when the great nurse, death, takes us by the hand and quietly says, "It is time to go home. Night is coming. It is your bedtime, child of earth. Come, you're tired. Lie down at last in the quiet nursery of nature and sleep. Sleep well. The day is gone. Stars shine in the canopy of eternity."
Is there anyone else who'd like to share a memory, story? Oh.
I'm going to put the picture up here because this is the, my name is Penny, by the way. This is the four of us 23 years ago at the Mohawk House celebrating my birthday. And the minute my husband saw that picture, he gave us a nickname, the Yaya Sisters. And it's been on display in my home ever since. So I find that every one of us here has a different memory, a different connection with Sue, and it's just so wonderful to hear them all. I want to read something from you, and I hope I find it and get it here. One of the Yaya sisters can't be here. She's cruising the Mediterranean. Okay, but she did send me something this morning, and I want to read it to you. And it was just a totally different perspective for me to read it from what I saw. Okay. Sue had a way of making everything more special and beautiful. If you ever received a gift from Sue, it was wrapped beautifully and thoughtfully. I remember her excitement and enthusiasm when she returned from trips. Her descriptions and details were incredible to me. Sue was always present when you talked to her. Her warmth and compassion was evident in her actions and beliefs. I will remember Sue every time I see cobalt blue. Beautiful flowers, gardens, and when I hear the word lovely. Mostly, I will remember how she smiled with her eyes. Now that's from Lori, okay? One of, as I said, the Yaya sisters. Now, I was thinking about, I've been thinking a lot about Sue throughout the past months. The last time I saw her was right before Valentine's Day, and we had a wonderful visit. I texted Bob and I said, "This was great." She smiled the whole time. Of course, there was a woman there that took Sue under her wings. You said Carmen? Yeah, she was a character. And, but she had Sue smiling. And I sat with Sue and I talked about yoga and how much she influenced me to stay with yoga. She gathered all her yoga magazines and brought them to me because I was quitting. I said, I hate this. And, but that was one of her loves. And so I was doing some yoga moves that day, trying to show them to Sue. She lifted her foot and made my day. We couldn't get the both feet going, but she lifted my foot. And I also shared this Friday in yoga. I'm still there. And with my yoga instructor, how important she was in my life when it came to encouraging me to stick with something like that. Sue's with me all the time. I walk out the front door, and what do you think's blooming today? The striped invasive plant she gave me. Okay. Now, in the summer, I make floral arrangements. Artemisia has to go into them. Sue gave that to me. And I walk down by the waterfront, and the yucca are beautiful. She came right over in potted plants, and I had that. So that's going to be with me always, because until I move from there, but I'll have it in my memory. There were so many memories of our celebrations together. We started out working together, and the friendship continued. Duke Gardens, Mohawk Gardens, Mohonk, the sculpture gardens, birthday celebrations. We went boating on Lake Apacong. Now, I shared this with Bob last week, and I don't know if this is a story that I get a kick out of, but no one else might. We were sitting in the front of the boat, and she says, I need a little more liveliness and excitement. And yeah, we were, we got it. We wanted to bring a glass of wine out with us, but we didn't have anything with a cover. Now, at that time, this is going back. This is our first boat. We decided we're creative. We had box wine. We took the innards out of the box wine, took it out in the boat with us, and sat there dripping it like an IV. I don't know what Bob and my husband thought, but maybe they couldn't see us, but that made it even more fun. So, but that stays with me. I didn't just think about that for today. That has stayed with me, and I've laughed about that forever, because I don't think too many people would do that or be that creative. So I will miss her terribly. She was an integral part of my life and my memories. I have so many memories of being with her, us getting together as couples, us getting together as friends, and just enjoying each other. Thank you.
Anybody else?
I'm Danielle. I'm Sue's daughter-in-law, and I didn't have a whole lot of time to put together a long talk, but I just wanted to share a few memories that I have of her. Sue, as everyone has said, was very giving. She loved her son so much. She was constantly sharing flowers from her garden for us. Every time we came over, she'd pick us flowers. She'd send us home with flowers. She would give you the clothes off of her back, literally. She was always giving me her clothes. Like Dave said, every Friday for years, she packed us a full dinner and brought it to the farm with, ice for the drinks and pretty napkins and pretty plates, and she would just think of everything. Every Christmas, before we had kids, and then again after we had kids, she would sit us down and she would just give us gift after gift after gift. Like, she loved giving things to people. And like someone else said, they would always be wrapped beautifully. Again, she loved her son so much. Every time we would go over there, Dave and Sue would take off out into the yard and start discussing all the plants in the yard. And this was before we, had a permanent place to land. We were renting a house, we were renting farmland, and Dave would constantly be trying to sneak plants onto Bob and Sue's property. So he has pawpaws planted there. He has a giant kiwi planted there that Sue was just so patient about, and they would laugh about, and they would kind of constantly maybe argue about the plants, but she would let Dave plant things there and keep them there even when the kiwi is taking over the entire house. She was always a great host. She was always the last to sit down. She spent time making our yard look nicer when we finally bought a house. As Penny said, today I went out into the yard and I looked at the plants that Sue had planted that are blooming, the daffodils that are blooming, the invasive butterfly bush that's not blooming yet but is taking over our house. And I look at that and I know she planted that, and it's so beautiful, and it's always full of butterflies in September. And that will stay with us. We didn't have kids until Sue was, already starting to show a little bit of forgetfulness. But I'm grateful that we did have the time with them that we did. When Sebastian was born, our first child, she admitted that she hadn't really been around a newborn for 40 years. But as the new mother that I was, Sebastian was born on April 30th. And so, of course, being new parents, Dave and I had no idea what we were in for, and we didn't hire enough help. And it was the beginning of the farm season. And so I was home by myself with a newborn, and Sue came over and held Sebastian for probably 3 hours in our rental house that was 85 degrees in the upstairs room so that I could take a nap because I was exhausted. And she didn't say it, she was probably exhausted, but she did it willingly. And I'm glad that the boys have had the time that they had with her. She was a special person.
That kiwi plant is holding up the house, or at least the deck. We're afraid to cut it down.
So David and I are going to do another song that was a favorite of Sue's. Turn, turn, turn. Season, turn, 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 and a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to tear down, a time to mourn, a time to rest, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time for every purpose under heaven. A time of love, a time of hate, a time of war, a time of peace, a time when you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to sow, a time to rend, a time of love, a time of hate, a time of peace. I swear it's not too late. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time for every purpose under heaven.
Thank you. Thank you all for sharing the wonderful stories. In the upcoming weeks and months, think of a memory, a shared laugh, a quiet moment, or even something you never got to say, and let that memory fill your heart of Sue. Sue leaves behind ordinary moments that don't feel ordinary anymore. Conversations that replay, small habits that remind us of her without warning. She leaves behind love that doesn't know where to go yet, and that's okay. Grief doesn't need instructions, it just needs space. There are no easy answers for a loss like this. The ache left behind is deep because the love was deep. In time, may the pain soften, and what remains be gratitude for having known Sue, for having been changed by her, for the gift of her presence, however brief. We don't honor Sue by being strong today. We honor her by being gentle with ourselves and with each other, by checking in when we think someone is probably fine, by saying her name instead of avoiding it, by remembering that loss because it can sit quietly inside a person and still be overwhelming. Sue mattered, her life mattered, and the love she shared doesn't stop because her time did. There isn't a right way to leave this place today. Some of us will talk, some of us will go quiet, some of us will feel okay for a moment, and then suddenly, not at all. All of this is allowed. We carry Sue with us not as a lesson, not as a symbol, but as someone we loved. May peace find each of us in its own time. May stories of Sue bring smiles rather than tears in the days that pass. And may her life remind us to live fully, love honestly, and care deeply for one another. May we carry forward Sue's spirit in kindness, in compassion, and in the way we care for one another. May love be stronger than loss, and may memory be a source of comfort in the days ahead. In time, may the pain soften, and what remains be gratitude for having known Sue, for having been changed by her, for the gift of her presence. Let us remember her not only for what was lost, but for what was. Her laughter, her dreams, her courage, her love. Those things will continue in each of you, shaping how we live and how we cherish one another. And so we say goodbye, not to the memory, not to the love, but to the physical presence of someone we will always carry within us. May peace find each of you in its own time. May stories of Sue bring more smiles than tears as the days pass. And may her life remind us to live fully, love honestly, and care deeply for one another. I ask that you bow your heads in prayer. God of broken hearts, we pause to take a breath to feel the support of everyone in this space, to ask for strength in the presence of loss, to celebrate Sue, who left so many footprints on this earth, to promise to always remember her impact and legacy and carry on in her honor. We offer compassion to her family and others who will miss her each and every day as we begin this long and winding road of grief. We will remember to listen to the quiet and find solace in the unrelenting strength that Sue offered to this world. For this sacred moment, for this gathering, For this time together, we give thanks. Amen. I'd like to thank everyone on behalf of the family for being here today to support them, but most importantly, for the love and the friendship you have shown them. Your care and your concern has meant a great deal to each and every one of the family members. I know today is a time to not only think about Sue, but to cherish her memory, but also to celebrate her. So I hope you can continue to celebrate her memory, share stories, pick up the phone, and just so everybody knows, like I said before, Bob does text really well, so you can text him. And maybe David, and just say, remember when Mom did this, remember when we went here. It might actually put a smile on their face just when they need it, and they might think of Mom, might think of the wife or grandma, and say, gosh, she was just a wonderful person and a wonderful person that's entered everybody's life here. This does conclude the services here at the funeral home, and you're all invited to join the family back up their house. Not sure if everybody knows how to get there. It's 186 Rosemara Road, so I did make up MapQuest directions, but it's super simple. You make a left out of the funeral home driveway, and you go past the school, the Wantage School, make your second right, and that's Wantage School Road. You're gonna come right to the end. Central School. What did I say? Okay, it's the second right, though. I always get those two mixed up. So you're gonna make a right onto Central School Road and go to the end, and you'll make a left, and the house is right there on the right-hand side.
Look for the silo.
Yes, look for the silo, and the family would like to ask if you could please try to park across the street, and there'll be plenty of parking there. And it's a time to not only break bread together, but to also celebrate and share the wonderful stories that you have of Sue. I'd like to end with a poem that I do believe she would appreciate. You can shed tears that she is gone, or you can smile because she has lived. You can close your eyes and pray that she will come back, or you can open your eyes and see all that she has left. Your heart can be empty because you can't see her, or you can be full of the love that you once shared. You can turn your back on tomorrow because of yesterday, or you can be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. You can remember her only that she is gone, or you can cherish her memory and let it live on. You can cry and close your mind, be empty and turn your back, or you can do what she would want. Smile, open your eyes, love, and go on. Again, thank you for being here with the family. And if you'd like to come up and pay your last respects, I'm going to ask that you do so. But we're going to have one more song being played. This land is your land. You looked at me like you forgot.
Well, it seems like that was a nice ending. I just figured maybe we should skip this.
When they're done, just come up and pay your
But this is another one of her favorite songs.
Oh, we didn't turn the phone off because somebody can go.
Is there other music playing?
I hear music. Just take this off.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna wing this one.
All right. Like we said, we haven't played together before. Wanted to play a song for her, ask Brian if he would play a song with me. And
It's my honor because
Yeah.
I can't believe we've never done this before. Really.
kind of wanted to.
Yes.
But I think she would like this song. It's, maybe not a traditional song for a service, but I think she likes it, and I don't know. It spoke to me as something she would appreciate. Her values.
And again, you can join us on the
Yeah,
chorus.
please join us.
Okay?
Yeah.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to New York Island.
From the redwood forest to the
wrong,
Gulf
I'm
Stream
sorry.
waters, this land was made for you and me. As I was walking
the skyway, I saw below me a desert valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. I've heard and rambled, I found my footsteps through sparkling sands of her diamond desert, and all around me the voices calling. This land was made for you and me. This land is my land, this land is your land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. I was shining and I was strolling through bright within, and the dust clouds rolling, and the fog was losing, consumed tending. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me.
Would you like to come up and pay your respects?
It was fun, it was fun.
What happened to you? I thought you were moving up. Oh.